On Monday, elections were on Thursday, so I arrived in Uganda on Monday. I met with the team in Kampala, and they explained to me, actually my plan, because I wasn't part of the teams to be deployed. I was going to participate.
Okay, in the election.
To participate in my constitutional right.
Yeah.
I wasn't on any form of plan. I wasn't listed somewhere that I have this assignment, whatever. Yeah. No, I volunteered. I paid for my ticket and went to Uganda, and this was to take part and not sit. We always tell people, Mugende mulonde, then who am I to sit back when I'm telling? I like to practice what I preach, to walk the talk, right? Yeah. You remind me of an interesting saying. I don't know if you've heard, if you can't walk the talk, at least talk the talk. So even if you can't do these things, even if you can't, just at least talk about them. But anyway, I go to Uganda on Monday. Then I met with the team. I met with the principal briefly. But our LIRA, LIRA is under Lango sub-region. For those who don't know, Uganda has 4 regions: Central, Northern, West, East. In the north, there are sub-regions. Now there's Karamoja, there's West Nile, there's Acholi, and then there's Lango. In Lango, there are about 7 or 8 districts. And Lira is one of them. So I was briefed that they were having challenges in Lango, where they knew we had good support. In the north, we have very good support. But why I went to Lira is because our comrades, the team leader, the supervisor for the Lango sub-region had been arrested a day before. Not a day before, about 4 days before he went and was arrested.
So you went in to fill up the gaps.
When they told me that, I was like, I am very happy to go to Lira and do the best that I can. Because first of all, I wasn't very familiar with the terrain. It was my first time in northern Uganda, but I was basically willing to do as much as my hands could let me, as my body and soul could let me. So I agreed, and they said, okay, very good. I got a few contacts of the people who were. So we had, and if this was a free and fair election, and if this was the principal, I forget how the principal put it, but he said he challenged Museveni to a free and fair election. If this election was run the way it was supposed to, there was no way. There was absolutely no way that we could lose. Absolutely no way. We had supervisors all over the country, sub-regional supervisors. And under those supervisors, we had constituency supervisors. So, for instance, in Lira, you have Lira district and then Lira city. Those are constituencies. And they have MPs. So, I supervise the sub-region. Then I have other supervisors, about 10 to 16 supervisors supervising constituencies. And each constituency has about 90 to 120 polling stations. So when I arrived in Lira, I made calls while driving to Lira. It was about a 6-hour drive. The road is ugly. I wonder how the people of Lira. Oh, I don't, because I know there was. I know what happened, but they voted Acheng into parliament, NRM, which was a little bit disturbing. Anyways, I reached Lira. I was guided or misguided by one of our comrades to stay in that place.
That particular hotel.
Yeah. And a few minutes, as I entered, and a few minutes, just as I was settling in, you can see that the windows are open. You can see that there's many people and you can see there's someone taking a video. The person, not the policeman taking the video, but there's someone who took that video.
An aide in the hotel.
Yeah, it was like an administrator or like a staff. Because they were still in the room, we were still talking about how the room looks. And
they are orienting you to your room.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the right word. But they hadn't even left yet. And you know, a gentleman comes in,
dressed.
He was in casual
clothes. And with a gun or
no gun?
No gun.
He asked me what I was doing. There, I said I'm going to stay. Actually, in my mind, I thought he was one of the staff. Yeah. He said, "Oh no, you're not going to stay in this room." And I asked him, "Do you have another room for me? A better room for me?" He said, "No, you're not. Why are you in Lira?" I said, "I am visiting." I am visiting.
Those are the questions that somebody who is in charge of you, like your dad, you are supposed to be home. Why are you here?
Well, yeah.
Like, excuse me?
It was shocking. And I said, no. And he said, okay, you're not going to stay here. We are going to the police. I said, who are you? I can't tell if you're a policeman or not.
So that's your arrest warrant right there.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I don't know you. I know the stories of people who end up going with people and people kidnapping others, and I guarantee you I will not leave this place. And I actually grabbed my phone. I was charging my phone. I picked up my phone, and he said, no, who are you calling? I said,
now you see where this is going.
Yeah.
So you mean these people did not identify themselves?
No,
they don't
identify themselves. They are so lawless. It is, you know, once you're there, you can be easily overwhelmed. They're so. It seems like they need to be trained. They need to be retrained. They need to be reoriented into serving.
I mean, yeah.
So. After that, he said he called in other men because I was telling him clearly that I'm not going anywhere. And he called in other men, and in a few minutes, about 8 men, 4 in uniform.
Which uniform?
Green, the military, the police.
The blue. The blue one, the one with blue patches.
I have no idea what they wear now.
So
blue will be the police.
Blue, well, apparently the police has many units. So they call them FFUs, Field Force Unit.
Okay.
And they put on blue. It seems similar, like SFC uniform. Okay. And these people, they had no names on their tags, so I couldn't, and they couldn't identify themselves because I repeatedly said, who are you and where are you taking me?
Yeah.
And what have I done? Those are the things that I insisted on.
Is this after they had roughed you up when the images was before? So you had you kind of had a conversation with them.
Well, it was a disagreement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
You had an exchange.
An exchange, yeah. I was clearly saying I need to know if you're genuinely serving Uganda. Who are you? What do you do? Anyway, this guy calls in and he's like, take his phone. And this is my phone.
That's the phone.
And I said, no, that's
was
not
it this
happening.
phone?
It was this phone. So I luckily I had traveled with someone from Kampala, so I got my phone and handed it to him, and he left, and then they fell on me. They fell on me, and he started saying, we are taking you to police and this and that and the other. And I resisted because I didn't know what I had done. So I said, no, I'm not going anywhere. You're not taking me. They grabbed my hands, tried to put cuffs on me. And this guy called Moses Obong, who was choking me. He choked me on the wall. I fought and turned around, threw me on the bed, put his hands on my neck, put his knee on my back, and that's the video that
we see.
That
so
see.
For them to do that, were you fighting? You were actually fighting them.
I was saying no, I can't. Yeah. I've not done anything wrong, and I can't go to police with people who
you don't know,
who I'm not sure about. And they overpowered me. And then threw me on a truck.
On those trucks where they have their seats and they throw you underneath?
No, it was like a pickup truck.
Just a regular pickup truck.
Like a pickup truck. I have some of the scars because they put cuffs on me and were dragging me by the cuffs. Because I was yelling. It is a really scary moment. I was yelling. Saying, help me, somebody help. Why are you arresting me? What have I done? And on the truck they were beating me and kicking me and pulling me down, trying to keep me silent, but I kept standing up, and I don't know if it is because I was scared or if I don't know, but I kept trying to let everyone know.
Herman, just a minute. Dear viewers, you can see the video that is going on your screens. Herman yatunyonnyola ki ekyaliwo e Uganda. Abali mu diaspora tusazeewo tukozesa nnyo olulimi oluzungu kuba twagala mikwano gyaffe abategeera oluzungu, mikwano gya Uganda babeere nga batuwuliriza bye twogerako. Naye nga mukulu Herman akulira abaagazi b'enkyukakyuka mu diaspora atukulira bwatyo bwe yakwatibwa nga mulaba ku screen yammwe producer wabadde abalaga video eyo. So wabaddengawo abantu bangi mu diaspora balowooza nti nze ndi mu diaspora tebinkwatako, ebigenda mu maaso e Uganda nze nakikuba natuuka ndi bulungi, ebyo byabo nze siri oppressed. So kino kyatuuka ku Herman. Imagine otuuse mu ggwanga tolina musango. This could happen to any one of us. This can happen to any one of us. No one is safe. Go on, Herman.
Hold on. Again, guys, this is, like he said in Uganda, this is the leader of the diaspora.
Yeah.
He was viciously arrested, as you just saw the video. And what we always get is that people are lying. Show me the proof. Tell us their name and how they were abducted.
So, and what they do.
And what they do. And I should say that the one common factor in all arrests that we've had, they are asking them for plan B of Kyagulanyi, and either they say you have bullets, give us the bullets, give us the magazine or the uniform that you have. So he is here, he was arrested, like Comrade David just said. If they can do this to him, and it's amazing that he's saying that the previous person whom he was replacing was arrested. That's how he ends up in the northern part of Uganda. And as we just had the guy in Uganda, he was talking about all the things that happen to make sure people win. So we know the military interference, the intimidation. So all these things come together. And they definitely wanted something on the at the area where he was. That's why they were arresting people.
In northern Uganda they deployed Salim Saleh, and I can tell you when I was in the cells, they deployed Salim Saleh, and he spent so much money. And many of our comrades, we were in the cells with a few of our comrades who were supposed to be polling agents. That is how severe it was. And in the different prisons were packed.
And then they say we are lying. And then they say they won the election.
There was a guy who was arrested. I won't forget this guy. He was a truck driver. He had a Kyagulanyi poster, just a Kyagulanyi poster.
They arrested him.
The RDC saw his truck, drove in front of him, stopped him, and they arrested him for that poster.
Could you say that again, please? You were arrested, you were in a prison, and there were other NUP poll watchers.
Very many, most of our agents. And if you see the DR forms, they'll show you Museveni has 230 votes, and Chagulanyi has 80 votes.
Yeah.
Many in northern Uganda ended up that way because the agents were being arrested, rounded up repeatedly.
And most of them, for some reason, they couldn't do that simple math. If you're going to give somebody 98, could you say Chagulanyi got 2? But they couldn't. Their numbers are always 120 or 100 something.
Yeah, there are many. It's absurd, but
so you were in jail.
Yeah, they took me to the police station. After that it was like a 4 or 5 minute ride of beating, kicking, pinching, keep quiet, why are you shouting? And
did you see in the cells other comrades who were battered and beaten so badly off, or who were having wounds? And
yes, yes, there was a guy who was limping. Actually, he was a UPC guy. You see, Lira is a very UPC. It is a UPC stronghold. So this guy was also arrested, but he was limping.
And also, Herman, while you were talking to us in the meeting the other time, you hinted about the young man who wanted to take an overdose of drugs and medicine to kill himself. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Briefly,
so yes, I was arrested by CMI, the guy in crazy uniform, searched by flying squad. They searched me like a terrorist. Every single note I had in my bag, they tried to read everything on the note. It felt like someone told them I had bullets or something.
I had actually treated like a terrorist. You were seized.
I felt I have never been searched
to Uganda.
Even at airports. I've never been searched that. So I was searched, and they spent 8 hours thinking about what to do for me because they had no crime.
Did they ask you what you know about Chagulanyi? What does he plan to do?
Yes.
So this was election day?
Yeah, the day
They've
before.
not announced, Museveni has not announced himself?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No. So they were asking questions like, so when they saw my passport, my American passport, they were asking questions like, who gives Chagulanyi money?
Oh, yes.
You're the people who give Chagulanyi money.
Did you say
do you have contacts of people who give Chagulanyi money? I said yes. No, I said yes, I donate to the movement.
Yeah.
I donate to people power. I can't see people who are dying in hospitals, and I don't help. Which kind of Ugandans are you who don't see
Were
this?
you beaten? Were you mistreated?
I was only beaten on the ride until the police.
Do you feel you got special treatment because they saw an American passport? Did you treat you well because they suspected you are a higher up official in NUP?
I won't say well. I'll say better than other people.
Better than others.
But it wasn't fun. And he has asked, which is where I'm going, that there was an NUP person who I was in prison with, and we were there 4 nights. Prisons are hard. I don't know if he has any pictures, but there's a picture of people in yellow who are sleeping in prisons. So you sleep in piles, not like this, but
in
rows.
Yeah.
So if this is your head, you put your head to this wall, 2 walls. You put your head to this wall, this person puts his head here. So his feet are basically in your face.
In your face, yeah.
So, Herman, what you are trying to mean, the SOPs do not apply in the prison.
No.
So if COVID was to break, it would start in the prisons. And
definitely, not just COVID, but other hygiene. Even TB, you and us. So it is absurd. It is a concrete floor.
That's going to be a topic for another day about COVID and Uganda, because I don't know what to believe from Uganda. When the basketball team went to Tunisia, they found out half of the team had COVID, but they did not say it in Uganda. What does that tell you? They only went to Tunisia, then they checked them and they found out that they are sick. But they will tell you otherwise. Please go on.
So we were in, we were many
So
4 nights.
were you granted, because in the normal way of doing things, if you are arrested, you are granted an opportunity to call your lawyer,
No.
a family member, or
No.
somebody to know
That's
your
a
whereabouts?
privilege.
Your phone
Actually,
was taken by then.
I had a small phone, and a phone I was using in Uganda, and then
Yeah.
so they took that one. Actually, I didn't get food. I left Uganda at 6 a.m. Kampala at 6 a.m. I only had breakfast. I drove and I was arrested just before I was going for lunch. So I didn't eat. In prisons they serve food at 5 p.m. Not in prisons, but in CPS Lira, where I was detained. They serve food at 5 p.m. once a day. You eat once in 24 hours. So everyone in prison has God's blessing because they fast. But
First fasting,
first fasting,
mandatory fasting.
1 meal a day, not this one of morning and evening. 1 meal. So there was no special treatment. They arrested me at around 3-4 p.m. Took me. They had no crime to charge me with, so I was seated in their office. They were looking at me as I was looking at them. They were outside making phone calls,
To the higher
trying to figure out what to charge
the
me
higher
with.
up. Yeah.
And so I missed mealtime because I was
The
seated.
prison mealtime.
Prison mealtime.
Could you ask for something to eat?
I tried. I
they said
begged. No, they said the mealtime is
It's over.
is over. No, I didn't know because I was there. I had no crime, so I was waiting to be released and go and maybe grab something to eat, right?
So what you are telling the viewers and the listeners is that in Uganda, they first arrest you and then look for a charge.
They try to find something, which has been typical. You've
Mostly
seen
if
many
you
of
are opposition or NUP.
our people's stories, yeah.
Okay.
So I was sitting, staring and waiting because for me I knew first of all I had no crime. There's nothing. I can't deny donating to the movement. That is not a that is not a crime.
Welcome to the club of more than 3,000 who are in jail. They have no crime.
Finally, at around 10-11 p.m., they made the decision to throw me in the coolers. The lady who made the decision is called Justine. I remember her. She's a God-fearing lady.
How did you know?
Because she kept talking about God and things
With
like
you?
that in prison. I was impressed. In Uganda, the police has a department called political desk.
What do
And
they do
maybe
on
I'm
the
just
political
stubborn, but I was there asking them, why don't you just say NRM desk? Because I mean, there is no, that political desk has never addressed any issues of the NRM. And what crime? I mean, I understand family issues. I understand corruption, anti-corruption department. I understand. But what crimes does political desk handle? Does it handle murderers? Does it handle... So I was confused. It's a total waste of resources, and I think I was speaking too much, and they got angry with me.
Them, yeah.
I angered them more. There was this other man. His name is Morris. I won't forget him. I think I need to keep calling him. Anafande. He kept hearing the things I was talking about.
Yeah.
A policeman in Uganda earns 400,000 shillings. I was telling them,
that's something like $120. $20.
So when you say you were talking to them, is it through the 4 days you spent with
No,
them? Or
during
just that
that day of my arrest, because I was frustrated. I didn't understand. I'm like, I'm here to help you. Do you understand? You need this help. I have no business being here, but you need. And I was trying to explain to them. I told them an officer of Uganda earns 400,000 shillings. President Museveni every day in State House, 1.8 billion shillings. 1.8 billion shillings is 1,000 million.
That's billion used for the State House expenditures
every day.
You mean
every day.
that's something like 8, maybe 3 schools, or
So you were challenging them to their situation.
I was informing them. Our role is sensitize, mobilize, organize. I was sensitizing them and telling them that, come on, guys, you need a better life. You deserve better. Because 400,000 shillings, it's $120. They have children, they have houses, they have loans.
Yeah.
Okay? And one man spends 1.8. The state house budget is 677 billion shillings.
Yeah.
If you divide that by 356 days, it's 1.8 billion shillings every single day. So it's, for me, I was expressing my shock, and so I think it sank on one of these gentlemen, and his name was Morris, and he started feeling what I was saying, and he is the only one who did a favor for me, which was give me my hoodie, my hoodie, and it, because I didn't know, and maybe I sounded a little bit arrogant to them, because I didn't understand how Uganda works. When you're arrested, you're supposed to kneel and all these things, and he felt bad for me. He gave me my hoodie, and he said, "You're going to need this inside. The mosquitoes. You'll need this for the mosquitoes." So that is all I got. Then the next day, he came to the cell, and people said, "Herman, how are you? Whatever." I was like, "Yes, here. I can't wait to leave." But then I heard the day after that he had run off because they were looking for him because of his affiliation, to me. I didn't know this guy.
Because of the kind gesture that
the police officer who gave you
one police officer who gave me my hoodie and came and said, "How are you?" the following day.
He was on a run.
He was on a run
the next
because he was going to be detained as well. So that's the kind of environment they operate in also, and especially around election time. It is, emotions are very heightened and people are very sensitive to each other.
How do you get released? How you finally got a mail?
I got a mail at 5 p.m. the following day. Also,
from yesterday?
Yeah. So I was super hungry.
You were holy.
I was very hungry. I had fasted forcefully. The other good thing is that once people were publicizing and talking about my plight a lot, we have a few NUP supporters around in Lira. We have a good number of them, and some of them were bold and brave enough to come to check on me, which I found really, really nice. It was really helpful.
Did they tell you that the whole world is tweeting and people?
Yeah. I didn't know what was happening. Yeah. So he told me, but I still didn't understand. Actually, it's funny that I was talking to the principal that day that I arrived, because I arrived in Uganda on Monday morning, and then I went to see the principal before being deployed, and he was saying the same experience when he was arrested in Arua, that he has no knowledge of what demonstrations were going on. So he misses. I also missed that part. I only scrolled through my timeline to catch up, but it wasn't the same.
So do you want to tell the viewers and the people in the diaspora that those efforts they put into to tweet, to WhatsApp, to demonstrate, that they are not futile?
They are definitely not futile.
Really, in your experience, they really work out.
So once if you're talking about someone's arrest, you, first of all, they are careful with the person. They won't batter the person because now they know the world is watching.
The world is watching.
Also, it alerts because NUP is everywhere. That's why we say NUP everywhere, NUP. It alerts the people around so that if they see or they can come and visit the person. Prison is one of the most lonely places, the loneliest places you can ever be. It is very hard, and that is how one of our people was
opting to take drugs
Yeah.
rather to kill himself,
Yeah,
to commit suicide.
Yeah, so the people came in, the people come and check on you, people are concerned about you. So that voice that other people raise
Let's
is
try to
helpful.
summarize with everything.
Anyway, yeah, 4 days later, Secretariat, we have a lawyer in northern Uganda. Secretariat deployed him. He started working on seeing my release, and 4 days later they released me, confiscated the car I was driving and my passport. They remained with those, and said, you are free to go. The file was closed, just like that.
They never accused you.
It was after
there
election.
was no
The accusation
case.
was military stores, a beret.
Oh, yeah. Because we are prohibited from wearing those red
Yes, and
berets.
and
They have to get something.
So they say, possession of military stores, which they all kept saying. They were writing these things and recording my statement, but repeatedly saying, you see, these politics things are tricky, but we know what you're doing. And I didn't understand that part, but that's what happened. I was watching over my back because I felt like they were going to rearrest me. Other thing I find very saddening is that the police officers who arrested me, Moses, who was choking me, when I was leaving, so they found some money in my bag. And most of the officers saw that money. It was money to pay polling agents, to kind of, support them, give them lunch and whatever. And
Facilitation,
right. And when they saw it, because we knew that mobile money was going to be down on the day of election, we couldn't pay prior because it's not practical in our circumstances. But when they saw that money on the day of my release, they repeatedly were asking, come and say bye to us. You haven't bought us lunch.
So the money, they gave you back the money?
They gave me
the bag?
Yeah, because they documented it. I told you there were 3 units, flying squad, CMI and police.
Yeah.
And they didn't know each other really well. So it was hard to connive and confiscate anything. So everything was documented, and there are people who were watching, witnesses to that documentation. So the money was there, but they saw it. So the policemen were repeatedly
asking you to say goodbye.
Yeah, hey, buy us lunch. Hey, we are hungry. Hey. And these are the people, and I kept telling them, these are the things that I am here to try and these are the things we want to address. You deserve a better meal than what you get. So that is how my story went. I stayed in Lira for the entire 2 weeks that I was in Uganda, unfortunately, which wasn't my plan, trying to get my passport and car. U.S. Embassy called several times.
I was going to ask, were they involved?
Yeah, they called several times. The police picked up and hung up on them several times. And that Morris comrade he kept telling me that the embassy is calling. The embassy is calling.
You must have felt good knowing that
up.
The embassy was calling.
Yeah, but I eventually spoke to them, and they said they couldn't come to Lira because it was too far. So it wasn't super helpful. But after my release, I went to the embassy and recorded a statement and said all these things. Actually, at the embassy, they educated me on a few things, like the US gives Museveni $1 billion, 900 million shillings, almost $1 billion every year.
$900 million.
$900 million every year.
Yeah.
And I was there nodding my head because I was talking to our human rights officer saying, because I was trying to not negotiate, but kind of advocate and say, don't you feel like the resources being given to this government are being misused, especially in election time and the like. And the guy was frank with me. He says, you know, previously we've had good relationships with this government, but lately it is getting more stifled and getting problems. We give the government $900 million, and I was like, what?
Yep.
So NUP is accused of getting funds from foreigners, and someone gets $900 million. In Uganda,
double standards.
In Uganda, we have 146 districts.
Yeah.
If you decide to give each district $5 million, you still have a balance to steal.
So the money they get, because they've been saying that Museveni will be rude to the EU, or he will call the Americans quote unquote homosexuals, but behind the curtains, he's on his knees, he's begging.
Yeah, repeatedly for resources, for military training, and he has to put up this front. That's why when they beat up journalists, 7 people were arrested. I didn't see the commander, Lieutenant Colonel Nuwamanya Napoleon.
I wanted to say something.
Among
the people 7. Whom they brought look so small. They look like kids. I know there is a girl, kind of a chunky girl that they put in there, and there was a lady whom they say was one of the people who was beating up people. But the people, when you watch the video, those guys are way big and they are way taller. And one of the guys, the journalist they beat up in the hospital, on his hospital bed yesterday, he said that army officer was on ground. He was there. But yesterday again, another army officer was saying he was not there.
Yeah.
So there is totally a double standard. But I want to bridge your story with what we are definitely talking about, that the reason we have you is so the world can hear that these things are happening.
Yeah.
These happen to you, like the comrade just said. They don't fear anybody. They will get whatever they want from you, and the way they treat you, it's actually upon them. Because you would have been beaten, battered like everybody, but they know who they're dealing with. And they know they don't want you to get on the plane limping or in a wheelchair. That's not the image they want to portray. But our comrades, Nubian Lee, Eddie Mutwe, close to 40 campaign people, Kyagulanyi's people, are in jail, not charged. The one, Rukuntana, shot people a few months back, like 4 or 5 months back. He shot people and he was given bail, charged not in a military court, charged and released.
And I talk about the rebel leader,
yes,
Jamil Mukulu.
Yeah. You know?
But anyway, bottom line, I feel like the first step, you know, like I said, what can we do all the time? The first step is that to tell ourselves that it begins with me. You know, we ask other people, what are you doing about this? What are you doing? We encourage you to do this. We encourage you to do this. People should go to the streets. People should, but we should ask, what are we doing? And I thank you for doing your part. And I thank you for doing your part. And if we can do that and still, you know, and then later converge, but after, first of all, involving ourselves, the first major step that we, especially in the diaspora, have the privilege to do is to get rid of our fear. If you are able to fly to Uganda, say they are taking a document to the UN officers or whatever, human rights officers. If you can fly to Uganda and be part of that, that is a major contribution. We need to get rid of that,
the fear,
discomfort, talking about these realities. We need not to beat around the bush about them anymore. The talk of I am working behind the curtains or I am working undercover, and I thank you for coming out of the curtains, is keeping this gentleman very comfortable.
Give me 1 second. Could we get 2 people to call in, please? To call on our phone. somebody who has just two people to call, somebody who has something they can add on. We don't want somebody who is fighting us. Can we get the phone number up there? 2 people, and we'll wrap this up. Did you want to?
Yeah, I was just saying that the first step and most important step is not to beat around the bush. It is not to go overly covert, not to tiptoe around this, not to walk on eggshells around these issues, and confront them head on. And my wife can tell you, I wish she was here to tell you. When I was leaving Uganda, she didn't know how brave I am, because I told her everything. I felt it was like giving a chidamo.
You told her where everything
is, and I left my issues in order. Of course not, but I think some of these decisions are pertinent to I mean, our people get shot, Frank Centers and all these people. They have families, they have blood, they have hearts too, and we encourage these people and say, act, do something. We should also be able to do that, and we have the protection of not being there to face the brutalities. So it's important that we get rid of our fear, take on this man head on, and see where it goes. Look at our principal, how much he has given up.
Yes. Everything.
And he keeps saying, if we have, he keeps saying other Chagulanyis should mushroom.
Yes.
If we had 10 Chagulanyis in Uganda,
yes,
and it doesn't take much.
Yes.
He's an MDD scholar, someone who is very distant from the political world, but
he rose up and did his part.
Look at how far Uganda has come, and so 10 times Chagulanyi gives us freedom.
We do a lot.
Thank you. Well, we just want to thank you, viewers. We are almost winding up, and I just want to, my last remarks would be to thank you, Herman, for being brave, and we welcome you back. We are glad to have you back, and we thank you for raising the voice. This is what we are all about here. We want to raise up the voice of the common people. We believe we are the common people, and we want to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. So kati ovuddeyo noyogerera abaana abo bangi n'abavubuka abali mu makomero eyo. So bana tusaba mu sharinge video eno, program eno egenda kubeerangayo. Tubasaba mukube number ya fesimanyo babagitaddeyo producer. Tonaba kugiteekayo. So tubasaba tugenda kubanga ne interactions zino, musobola okuba muleeta ebiteeso, mutuwe ideas nga NUP nga bannayuganda abagazi b'eggwanga lyaffe. Tulabe waliwo enjogera egamba nti ensi eri bubi nga bweri si lw'abantu babi naye olw'abantu abalungi mmwe abasalawo okusirika. So kati programu eno tugitaddewo amaloboozi gaffe gaveeyo. That's why we call it U Voice.
Yeah.
Take it on.
Mwebale nnyo, U Voice. U stands for Uganda, Uganda Voice, and U echoes you doing something for the country. So the program is
they are asking for the number. We have people who are asking for the number.
We just wanted to give a few of you, just 2 people to call.
Our producer is going to put the number.
The producer is working on that so we can finalize this. Look out for us every Sunday. We started a little bit late today, but we are getting better. If you want to be part of this, contact us. Give us ideas. Give us like the Comrade Herman was saying, that what do we do next? We are looking for solutions. We are looking for people who can add on this, people who love Uganda, people who love humanity, because what's happening in Uganda is inhumane, you know. So actually when Comrade was talking, I was reminded of the fact that we don't have a healthcare system in our country.
Okay.
We do not have a healthcare system.
Yeah.
But when these security people are clobbering people, they are clobbering them to kill them.
Yeah.
They are breaking their skulls. They are breaking their limbs.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Henry. Allow me to just read the number for our people to call. The number you can call on is 978-413-6249.
413-6249. You can call in. We'll give you 2 people to call in.
978. Okay. True.
And we have a caller, I think, from England. Hello.
The number you can call on is 978.
Hello, can you mute?
413.
Can you mute your... Hello? Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Your name and where you're calling
for
from,
the
please.
program.
Where are you calling
I'm
from?
calling from London.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, thanks for the program, Basebo. Thanks for Hamani, Kulikayo Arua. I mean, Alango.
Lira, yeah.
Yes, sir.
You're not changing it.
Hamani.
Wanje sebo.
Also, kunjogera kumulanga wa mangu. Osebo chingwadi mulango.
Tebamuyigiriza lulango mukomera ye yali abayigiriza ebintu by'omu America.
Sorry to say that.
Manyi bin kan. Manyi.
Copy. Siri mulango.
Okay.
When you are going in for a struggle, listen to me. Abayaniriza Museveni, I wasn't among them. Fortunately or unfortunately, I was on the wrong side or on the right side. Kakati kasito gamba, if we had 10 Chagulanyis, 0 messages, is that what you are trying to insinuate?
No, I didn't say 0 anyone. But
no, insinuation is what I've said.
Yeah.
If you had 10 Chagulanyis, 0 messages, 0 Paul Kanga Semogerere, then Uganda would be on the right track.
Not necessarily.
What we are talking about today, hear me out. 1996, I sat among 10 OBs, Simbi's Wome, after the election. I was the only person who wasn't supporting Museveni. And I told them, I'm from eastern part of Uganda, Akalurwaka BA. Mbulira reaction yawe.
So what's your point? What's your point, my friend?
Mukwano, it's not about the rigging of election today. It has been happening since Akaboy was rewarded when he got the Commissioner General's position. Kasuja, Ambassador to Saudi Arabia. Do you get the train? So what are you exposing? Some people have been in the slumber and they're just waking up. It's having a general consensus. What's right for Uganda? The challenges Bobby Wine Kyagulanyi is facing today is a general consensus. Banange nagenda mu kalulu ne bansobyako. The challenge is not that bakuba akalulu. The challenge is butugenda mu kalulu batusobyako. Somero jengenamu bansobyako.
Tukoze tutya.
Get that right.
Tukoze tutya.
Generate a general consensus, not an individual consensus. You'll have Kaguta tomorrow out of Uganda.
Don't you think?
I don't want him out. I want him in Rakitura.
Don't you think Robert Kyagulanyi has tried to create a general consensus by saying that we are together? He has spoken against tribalism. He has said that he doesn't want to go to the bush. He wants to beat Museveni at the ballot. Don't you think that's
what
right?
Did Semongerere do in 1996, which he did in 1980?
What general consensus would you suggest otherwise?
A fair and free election for any candidate, irrespective of who you are. Not that no.
Kale Muganda wange, let me pick up somebody else. We take your point. We appreciate your call from England.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, and where are you calling from? Hello? You're calling from Iowa. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. I just want to thank Herman. First and foremost for being back from Uganda.
Okay.
Then the next thing is, I think, like the diaspora in general. We people in the diaspora have to make a bold stand against Museveni. One of the things that every person should know that we are part of the taxpayers.
Yes.
Somehow we must make first and foremost America to know that we pay the taxes, and we can't pay the taxes. This money we pay here. If I look at the snow in Iowa today, and I have to drive to hospital every morning, and I make that money to go and kill my people, it's not acceptable.
So you are referring to the taxes we are paying here in America?
We pay the taxes in America.
Yes.
That's why we are here.
So what?
And we, the taxpayers who are Ugandans, who pay the taxes, who break our backs in America, are saying our money should not be used to kill our relatives in Uganda. We are here to support our relatives in Uganda. We work for a better Uganda.
That's a very good point.
We need to make America to know that it is us. I have already filed my tax return. And this money they are going to cut to give to Museveni to kill my children. My children are in Uganda.
So let me ask you one question, my friend. America has already decided to stop, I think, $500 million funding to Uganda.
I think 750.
750 or something.
Yeah.
What else would you suggest America to do?
A complete, I worked for the U.S. Embassy for 10 years in Uganda.
Okay.
Before I came here in 2015. And the truth is, America runs Uganda as a small district of theirs. There are still so many things. For example, Senator Museveni was there yesterday to talk about education.
Yes.
What does Senator Museveni do? What education does she talk about?
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about, just look at the internet. The internet is a hospital. The internet is a university. So if some man in the name of the president can cut off an internet from you, it's just like cutting off life in the hospital.
In the hospital.
And this cannot be accepted in this century.
Thank you very much, comrade, for calling. We appreciate your phone call.
Thank you.
So, ebirungi bigwa binyumya birungi bigwa byocha. I wanted to say that. Thank you guys for watching. Is there something I didn't think you needed to respond to the guy in England, because I think he misquoted you or he misheard what you were saying? But what I hear, the common theme is people are angry, people want to do something, sometimes they don't know how to do it, and our ways differ.
Right.
Which I think right now the principal could be kind of annoying people, because he's not calling out people on the streets. He's not calling out people to pick up guns. He's saying, let's stay the course. Let's stay the democratic way. Let's go to court.
Fight on. Even
if the courts we know are for Museveni, we need to first challenge the courts before we can ever think about Plan B.
Yes, I wanted to just say my brother from the UK who was talking about general consensus. I don't know what other general consensus we need with the number of abductions.
Yeah.
That is a general feeling around Uganda. We don't know who is going to be abducted next. When I landed in Uganda on Monday, I didn't know that Tuesday was the day of my arrest.
Yes.
So we might be here, referring to individuals, Paul Kawanga and Changulani and Besigye and
what happened
an individual. But let's talk about the person who is going to be abducted.
Doing it now.
Who is doing it now. And that is the consensus. The police brutality is real.
The police brutality.
Journalists can tell you. Journalists can testify.
I hope now they can speak up because they've not been speaking up.
And many other people. So the general consensus, I think, is already there. It is,
and I feel like
taking action.
I feel like Kyagulanyi has made his case, and I feel like Museveni is making the case for us, because Museveni has made himself the issue. And every time people ask Kyagulanyi of the agenda, what are you gonna do for us? I'm like, he doesn't need to say anything. He's already doing it. We need to remove the dictator. The dictator has made himself the issue, like Semujunganda said. Why would you even put up a manifesto that I'm going to build roads? Museveni, in his house, in the movement, he's the issue. He doesn't want anybody else to unseat him as a chairman of the NRM. He thinks he can go forever. He's been ruling us for 36 years. Why do I even have to promise you roads and hospitals? It's like,
it is sad.
Museveni is the issue. He's the manifesto. He's our plan. He's our plan A and he's our plan B. Removing him is the only mandate. Can you imagine? He came by gun. Who voted on his manifesto? No one voted on his manifesto. No one said yes or no. Please, you are welcome. He didn't knock at the door. He came by force. So you can't compare apples and oranges here, because we think I voted for him twice because he had come in by force and he was kind of nice and he was kind of normal. After that, he became the real him, like Obote and Amin and everybody else. So now Kyagulanyi is our only hope. We have to end this. Do you have a last word?
Yeah, I just wanted to invite people for the North America meeting tonight at 8 p.m.
We have a meeting in 1 hour, exactly 1 hour from now.
Yes, 8 p.m. The Zoom link will be on my Facebook page and on Kapalaga Babies page, and all people in North America, including Canada. Please be there, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Go
which
on
is 5 p.m.
Herman Ainebyona's Facebook page.
Yeah.
If you are not a member of that group, go on Facebook, look him up. You'll find the invite. Just click on the blue link. They will get you in. Yeah. So don't say that you don't belong to this, and we are not going to say that Olimbe Gobo Richi. I don't really care. So long as you come in, we are all removing a dictator.
Yeah, and there's nothing we are, like I was saying, we need to be bolder. We are not walking on eggshells
We are not
anymore,
walking on eggshells.
About these issues. So please just join in so that some of your questions and also your ideas go on the table for discussion and see if they are implementable and practical for our case. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm very
Thank you, guys. Thank you, our engineer. Another Herman behind the curtains. Very, very good job. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, for watching us. We appreciate. Share. See you next Sunday. Oh, hold on. I forgot we have my vice president is saying goodbye.
Yes, I want to thank everyone who came in. I'm thanking everyone who called in. And I know the last voice that called in is our voice of reason in Una Council. He's our councillor of Oklahoma. And he's a man who literally have his heart broken for what's happening, just like all of us. Yeah. And with his voice in Una and the collective of our leaders, other leaders, we are literally bringing the change we need in the diaspora. And I want to empower everyone. Don't give up.
Yes.
Just like our leader said, let us take away that fear. Let us be fearless.
Yes.
In the midst of the bloodshed in our country, Uganda. It is us.
Thank you for the
who
job.
are going to speak for our people.
Thank you for the job you are doing in Una. We think you are our next president. You are doing a good job from
God
Uganda.
You.
From Uganda,
Yes,
you've done a lot of good things for the children in the north. the hospital in Atuta in the northern part of Uganda, and now in America in the diaspora. We appreciate you so much, Madam Vice President. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. We are calling all our people from California to join our meeting today. It will be 2 hours after the diaspora meeting. It will be 7 p.m. our time. And also our daily, we call them work sessions, where people join in to tweet, to email their leaders.
You also have
the links will be shared.
Meeting. Okay, good.
Yeah, we want everybody to join. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you all.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.